If you've ever crammed into a packed light rail car during rush hour, you know the challenge. Too few seats, tight aisles, and little room to grow. That's about to change. Sound Transit is planning longer and sleeker vehicles with wider doors and better accessibility than what you are looking right now. Promising smoother trips and a greener future, the Series 3 LRV mark a major upgrade for riders across the region. So what's in store? Stick around, and we'll break it all down in today's episode of Great Trainspeed. From January to July 2025, Link Light Rail ridership followed a steady path of recovery, marked by both challenges and strong rebounds. January began with weekday boardings of roughly 2.7 million, but in February, demand softened and ridership dipped sharply to just 2.2 million boardings. By March and April, the system regained momentum, crossing the 2.7 million and 3 million mark, which was a notable milestone that set the tone for the summer. The growth continued through May and June, reaching 3.3 million and 3.2 million boardings, before climbing to a seasonal high of 3.4 million in July. The numbers clearly show an upward trajectory, moving from early year softness to near record-breaking usage, with July standing out as the strongest month of the period. And the progress does not end there. A major system change has just been announced, aimed at further improving the passenger experience and strengthening the network's reliability. So, what exactly is this change, and how might it reshape such a vital urban link? If you find this update helpful, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you never miss the latest developments. Everything about the world of trains is right here on Great Trainspeed. Sound Transit is preparing to make a significant shift in its light rail fleet with the upcoming Series 3 light rail vehicles, expected to enter service in the early 2030s. Unlike previous models that emphasized interchangeability, the new vehicles are being designed as double-length cars, a change projected to expand passenger capacity by 5 to 13%. The Sound Transit Board's Rider Experience Committee recently reviewed concept designs, which form part of the broader Sound Transit 3 program approved by voters in 2016. While many Sound Transit 3 capital projects remain bogged down by cost escalations and planning delays, the new vehicles will be central to delivering the service improvements promised. At the same time, Sound Transit faces a 20 to 25% funding gap over the next 2 decades, adding financial pressure to the timeline. And check out the potential new train renderings for a glimpse of the region's transit future. Draft renderings show a sleek blue and white exterior with continuous dark window bands, multiple wide entry points, and clearly marked wheelchair-accessible areas, highlighting a strong emphasis on accessibility and compliance with ADA standards. Simplified schematics highlight door placement and interior flow, pointing toward more efficient boarding and circulation inside the train. Together, these design elements emphasize practicality, modernization, and a stronger visual identity for the fleet. Operational benefits are also clear. With fewer cabins to build, capital costs could be reduced by about 10%, while streamlined maintenance is expected to lower long-term expenses. The longer cars will also allow for improved passenger flow and more opportunities for amenity upgrades, such as expanded bike storage and enhanced passenger information systems. Final decisions on seating layout and interior features, however, will depend on negotiations with the selected manufacturer. The procurement process is already mapped out. In March 2024, the board approved $78 million to modify the contract with Siemens Industries to purchase 10 additional Series 2 LRVs and additional spare parts. Sound Transit expects to issue a request for proposals, RFP, by the end of this year, select a builder by mid-2027, and receive the prototype by 2032. A base order of 70 LRVs is planned, with options for up to 80 more, ultimately producing between 118 and 140 new vehicles. Once deliveries begin, the agency anticipates adding 18 new LRVs per year until the order is complete. Transit advocates have long called for double-length designs, citing Ottawa's 158-foot vehicles as a precedent. In the past, Sound Transit resisted such changes, pointing to constraints in maintenance facilities and limited operational flexibility. Now, the agency appears to be prioritizing capacity and cost savings over those earlier concerns. Still, the shift poses logistical challenges. Existing maintenance facilities in Sodo and the Spring District cannot accommodate the longer vehicles, meaning new operations and maintenance facilities OMFS in Federal Way and Everett will need to be customized for them. According to Sound Transit staff, the Series 3 schedule is closely tied to the design and delivery of OMF South, which will serve as the model for accommodating these vehicles. To manage short-term needs, Sound Transit has already accelerated the delivery of 10 Series 2 vehicles to help cover upcoming expansions such as the Federal Way extension, opening December 6th. Those vehicles will not arrive until 2028, but they provide a critical bridge before the Series 3 fleet becomes available. Though details like seating and amenities are still undecided, the Series 3 vehicles represent a turning point, offering more capacity and a modern design that reflects Sound Transit's focus on rider experience and efficiency as the network expands. So, what's everyone saying about this big change? More importantly, what do you think? As a traveler, would you support it? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Type 1 if you're on board, or 0 if you see it differently. Let's see where our community stands. Community response to the draft concept of Series 3 has been mixed, reflecting both enthusiasm and concerns from passengers. Many riders expressed excitement that larger modern cars are finally being planned. As one commenter noted, 90-foot cars kinda made sense 20 years ago when the Link had a fraction of the ridership it gets today. But now, we need all the capacity we can get, highlighting the urgency for expanded capacity in line with current demand. At the same time, some passengers raised important questions about accessibility. Several comments asked whether high-floor trains would be fully wheelchair accessible without requiring staff assistance or portable ramps, showing that accessibility remains a top priority for riders. Others approached the rendering with a touch of humor or imagination. One admitted they initially thought the design was for a double-decker train and remarked that it would be cool as hell. There were also suggestions for improving the interior, such as calls for horizontal bench seating throughout the car to maximize capacity and passenger flow. On May 21st, Sound Transit marked a major milestone for the East Link extension. The first light rail vehicle successfully crossed the Homer M. Hadley Memorial Bridge between Mercer Island and Seattle. Then, on September 10th, testing advanced even further as light rail trains operated overnight across the E90 floating bridge. Supporting this growth, 2 new stations recently opened in downtown Redmond, where ridership surged almost immediately. Redmond Station has already become the busiest stop on the line, demonstrating how quickly communities adopt new transit options once they become available. In just a few months, service will extend south to Federal Way, adding 8 new miles of track through South King County. Officials describe this extension as a game changer, opening new connections to the airport and downtown Seattle. Together, these projects show how Sound Transit is expanding capacity, improving reliability, and setting new standards for regional mobility. With the floating bridge test now underway and major expansions on the horizon, the next few years are shaping up to be transformative, with more promising news for rail passengers in the Seattle area. We'll end it here for today. Thanks for being with us, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Until then, stay safe and keep your eyes on the rails ahead.